My mom's friend who was a realtor was like, hey, like you can edit and shoot videos. Like I'd love for you to, edit me some stuff like houses and like I'm gonna do some, like talking for the camera and stuff. Like I'll pay you for it. And I was like,
pay
wait.
what?
I was like, oh, you're gonna pay me for this one project more than I would make this whole entire season edit that I would do? I was like, okay.
You gonna do it? I'd like to get Dylan wait.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Simply Winning Podcast. Guys, this is the most anticipated podcast by Dylan himself.
He's
Bro, I've
the
been
only
waiting on
one.
this.
Dylan
Waiting
Fedyk
on
is
this
in the
for
house
months.
for season 2, episode 16.
Yes, sir.
And he's about 16 years old, so
Darn close.
big timing for that.
I'm the closest one.
So is this your first podcast?
Yeah, technically.
Let's
I don't think I've ever
go.
done a podcast like this. So
Okay, cool.
What kind of podcast you been on?
I did my own podcast in high school
Oh, did you?
for my class. Yeah,
Oh, so it's not your first. You're a seasoned vet.
I guess so. Yeah.
So you were a host back then, and now you're a guest
Yeah.
Well, let's intro.
Yeah.
Let me do an intro for Dylan coming on the podcast.
for Dillbot.
For Dillbot.
Let's go.
So today on the podcast we have the one and only Dillbot Fedyk, and he is the second newest. Well, let's call him. Well, he's the second newest because we hired some people, but creator at Brotherdale. He is the mystery man who showed up in Vegas during the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I don't know. We'll get into that story, which is wild. And he just committed full time again to staying in Nashville. Welcome,
go.
Dylan Fedyk.
What's up, guys? I'm stoked to be here. It's a long time coming. I remember we were talking about doing this podcast in Vegas when I met you guys for the first time.
Yeah, we did actually talk
We
about that.
might we might have to touch on like doing dropped out, stayed in, and debating college.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna touch on all that stuff. Yeah,
we'll
for
talk-
sure.
Wait, he's
talk
dropping
about all
out?
that.
Yeah, probably. No, not yet. We're that'll be something that he'll figure out probably around November. So we'll see how that goes. But no, so basically, you tell us how you found Brotherdale, because this is a very unique story. We didn't know Dylan until I guess like pretty much December of last year, somewhere in there. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
December.
we made some videos and then ended up connecting with Dylan over Instagram, essentially. That's kind of how it happened. But let's tell you your version of the story.
Okay.
And then we'll get to like your background and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think basically, like unintentionally, I saw that one video that you guys did for Barstool, and I was like, "This is next level." So like, anytime I see like a next level video, I'll like screen record it,
Yeah, she does.
and
does
like
this.
I'll go through the video like frame by frame to like understand it and see the techniques and everything.
And he's like, man, this
And-
is garbage. I could really help him.
Damn.
So I saw that video and screen recorded it. I had no idea that it was even Brotherdale's. I don't even know who Brotherdale was. And I think it was on that video, or maybe it was a different one that I like commented on. And then
Do you remember you commented? Like, what,
I have no
what'd
idea.
you say?
I don't
Voted
even,
edit of the year.
I don't even
I'll
remember.
just believe
I never comment on like any video. I never.
I called it.
did, you
I mean,
did.
Tim, you're good.
I never comment on any videos, and I think like the one that I just so happened to was the one that Femi saw.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, he's in my DMs and he's like, "Hey, I got a potential opportunity for you. If you're open to it, like I work with this company called Brotherdale. We were at GCU last year for the Super Bowl for Celebrity Sweat." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like I remember that game and stuff, and everything like that." And basically that led to a phone call with you guys on Zoom, where you kind of just like introduce yourselves and we kind of talked face to face somewhat for the first time. And then you guys gave me like a intro project,
Yep.
and I kind of knew. I was like, this could be something really big for the future. Like I'm gonna try to go all out on the edit, and that was, yeah, I don't know if I can say it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
It was that bum video.
Yeah, it was a raw collab, like pre-workout video.
Yeah.
With Bum. So yeah, and the footage was like not. It was fine footage. It wasn't like the best footage ever.
Yeah, because I remember Daniel was
Yeah.
saying that it was
Yep.
like he was like, "Oh, I only had 45 minutes to film it." And
Yeah.
it was super rushed. I don't know if I got everything. I mean, to me, the footage was great. Like I feel like I had everything I needed.
Yeah. Well, you made a sick video.
Yeah.
And then I was like, dang, okay, cool. So then
I remember viewing it in your office and we're like,
Yeah.
dude, this dude is good.
Yeah. And the first impression too, on like the first call was like a really good vibe essentially.
Seemed like a cool dude.
So then we basically offered him, we said, hey, you live in Phoenix.
No. Was that before Vegas?
No, this is before, this is like December. So then we were like, hey, you live in the Phoenix area. It's about a 4-hour drive. We're going to the Super Bowl for, in Vegas.
Yeah. I was saying before, I thought you were about to say that we offered him the thing. I was like, no, he came to Vegas.
No, yeah. So we just offered him to come down to Vegas out of nowhere. Like, basically
I mean, technically the offer was like, hey, like we love this video you made. Like, for the future, we'll probably throw you on some more edits, like virtually. We'll send you footage and stuff like that. You said there's like a bunch of like opportunities like in the company, sort of just like, I don't think there was any intention of kind of where we are now with it. But, you even talked about like me shooting my own stuff in Phoenix and like making deliverables for you guys and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'd rather like, be in it and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I think like that's sort of
that's where we were at. And then we came to Vegas. So he didn't really know us at all, essentially. And then drove out there 4 hours, met us at the Gold Coast Casino. And we were checking in. All the boys were like, we still had our stuff. Like we just got there.
Dude,
Marcus
okay. Well,
booked
funny
it.
thing too is on the drive there, I was like doing some research on you guys. So like I was looking at the website and like I was listening to the Simply Winning podcast, trying to just like to get to know you guys a little bit better and like
This podcast.
yeah, this podcast.
That's crazy.
So like
Yo.
in the
was
car
on it.
ride, I swear I listened to like every single one of season 2 during that time just to like get to know the guys, put names to faces and kind of like, see everyone's vibe. Cause I was like, I want to know who these guys are. Like I want to be able to see their face and like know all, 9 of them by their name. I don't want to be like, what's your name again? What's your name? So I like listened to all the podcasts.
That's crazy.
And was just kind of like getting hyped. I was like, you know what? We're going to show up here and I'm going to like try to blow their minds.
Let's freaking go. See, that's the mentality to go into it. That's crazy. And like, you didn't know, like if you were showing up, like obviously you knew we were real, but like you didn't know anything else. So yeah, showed up there and then
real bots.
we could have been real bots, not dill bots.
Real bot.
But the first trip, yeah, I mean, like, it was like kind of a crazy, really like, it's insane to think about the story because like it's off a comment and then Femi, shout out Femi, reach out to you. Then you just came to Vegas and that happens to be like one of our craziest trips, like fun wise that you could go on because it's Super Bowl weekend. So it's like all week we just do all the content around the Super Bowl for a bunch of brands and partners we have. So then you get to go out to that and we ended up filming the football game, a few other things, and then we went to we were in a Lesso's concert in the freaking
crazy.
DJ booth, which is just nuts. He never actually made it to the DJ booth. You were in VIP though, because I think did you get kicked out or did you follow?
No, dude, I went to the bathroom and then I came back to the mosh pit where I left you guys and y'all were gone.
Yeah, I was already in the DJ booth. I was.
He left us a long time ago.
But they ended up making it. So Riley made it. I don't know how Riley made it, but he made it.
Snuck up there.
Did you go with? You went with Hunter when we got you guys in. Okay, cool, yeah. And then Cross came out of nowhere,
He's
bro.
the
and
one
just-
that climbed up the side of the stage.
yeah, and then Femi got
back
kicked
there.
out,
Yeah.
which is wild. But then fast forward from there.
No, I remember what happened. I know exactly what happened. Me and Riley left to go up there, and you stayed down there with Femi. And then when Riley and I got in, I think whenever you went to the bathroom, Femi got kicked out, and then you were like, "Where's everybody at?"
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Cross
pretty much.
jumped up before like the security guy looked away.
Remember, he was talking to you and I front stage. He's like, "Dude, whenever that security guy's not looking, I'm running up this thing." He's like, "Come with me." He was
lit, bro.
And I was like, I'm not getting caught. I'm not doing that. Cause like, dude,
Bro, I
they're
could
like right
expose
there.
Cross right out.
And then the next thing I know, he's like, I'm going. He went right up the side of the thing, bro. And he went so like,
Well, he got caught the first time. Do you remember that? So he did it twice.
No. He
Yeah.
he didn't get caught the first time. What happened was he ran too far out. He ran out. He got into behind the stage with the DJ, and then he kept going and went out of the thing.
That's
and
insane.
then he ran past the security guard.
That's great. And by the way, for reference, we're talking about Omni nightclub, which is a huge nightclub in Vegas, like one of the most famous ones in Vegas. So we were there, and then basically, Cross went up. Femi tried to go, And then Crust left him, so Femi was trying to like get his attention because the security guy wouldn't let him through. So that's my buddy in there, and he threw a napkin, and he got kicked out. He got straight up escorted out of the whole place.
Yes, I remember that's what he was saying.
And then you came back, and then it was kind of over.
And
so
I texted Femi, and I was like, "Yo, where you at?" He's like, "I got kicked out." I was like, "That fast?" I was gone for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
if that. And then I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll go meet up with you. So he's not alone." And then
Jeez. Okay, and then so basically after that trip, I don't know, like, what were the steps after that? Do you remember, like, the exact steps? And then you ended up coming down. We basically made a plan for the summer
so
for you to come down.
well, I mean, like, one of the biggest things I think about that trip was, you guys were hyping up the fact, dropping out of college and you got to do this. And like, I think it was pretty clear by the end of that trip that there was a future with Brotherdale for me, which was super exciting. I was like super stoked for it. I think like after that, it was kind of like, okay, well, let's figure out the next, steps for the future.
Yeah, I think it was just, can you do edits while you're in school? And then whenever the summer hits, you'll basically move here. And then next thing you know, we're almost already through summer. And we just talked 2 weeks ago or so, and talked about what the rest looks like. So
yeah, because you were basically debating on going back to college, but then obviously like it would be, I said this out loud, I was like, it'd be very hard to go back into a dorm after living real life and like doing it, because you're going for film, doing what you're doing now, and then going back to a dorm with people that they don't know what they're doing for their
totally.
their
I
next
feel like
steps.
I was like doing a lot of thinking about it, obviously, trying to make some big life decisions. And
where was your brain at with that? Kind of
dude, well, the thing is, like, it's tough because like there's times where you need to make a decision, but you don't know what the right decision is, and you just have to make one and just hope it's the right one. I think, like, for me, my thought process kind of going into the summer was like, I don't know what it's going to be like working with these guys in Nashville, being with them all the time. Who knows if I'll be working like, 12-hour days every single day.
Spoiler alert, he is.
Spoiler alert, I am. But I thought it would be a lot more sucky. And I thought like, I was like, maybe they're going to have their thumb on me and they're going to be like, get this done. And like, so I was kind of just like trying to give myself, I was just trying to give myself like some options to be like, hey, I'm not going to like commit if like I have a bad time.
Experience. Yeah, totally.
Which is not at all.
How was your experience been?
My experience has been amazing.
You don't have to say that.
HR, listen.
No, it's great. Like literally, I think like, I said it on my Instagram post that I'm, one step closer to living my dream. And like, I think the only thing that I've ever wanted from film and sort of just like in my life for a career is to, number one, like have some financial backing, and number two, be able to create videos, of things that I love doing, and be able to have like that creative input on it. And I feel like I've gotten that, I feel like I've gotten all three of the things that I've kind of wanted out of a career, in terms of like setting it up, which has been awesome. Cause I feel like a lot of people will get stuck in like corporate, and like, that's what I was doing for a while, was like a lot more like corporate-y commercials. And like, to be honest, it's just not very fun.
Yeah, just like talking head stuff. That's what we did for a long time. I mean, we went through that whole phase. Corporate stuff, weddings, zero cool fun ads or bigger brands.
Marcus
like
loved filming for the banks and selling.
Yeah, I loved banks. I loved lawyer videos.
Banks, they got money, I assume.
Oh, they have money. It's just so boring, bro. It's the worst. But you have to put your time in, and you have a taste of all that stuff. And then once you get to do fun things that you can apply your creativity to, and the companies are asking you for your creativity, they're paying you for that part, is like, it's the best thing if you're creative and you like that kind of stuff. But if you're a person who wants to do, films and documentaries, like, there's a place for that for sure. And it's something that we'll probably move into and do those kind of things. But for this, it's like, how creative can you get on certain things? And how can you make this product look dope and do all those things, which is a blast, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, that's like, well, that's good to hear you have a good experience so far.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, so you committed, basically you're going to do school online, correct, in the fall?
Yeah.
You're still working that out?
Like,
or?
to give the viewers some like backing. So basically, like, my college story is I went to Montana State for 1 year for film. with the intention of kind of just like figuring out, what I was going to do with that. So yeah, like first year at Montana State, quickly realized that film school is not how to make videos. It is 100% Hollywood. And I was like, this is not really like what I want to do. I don't want to do Hollywood. I want to do like dope, brand commercials and stuff like that. And was
Just let that go.
geez,
Just Perry.
that beeping.
It's Perry.
But yeah, basically, it was like, okay, well, I'm going to get a degree because, I should, I guess, and yeah, so I did 1 year at Montana State, and then I transferred to Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, just to get out of the house, get out of my state and
Get
try
your
to
beak wet.
yeah, get my beak wet. So yeah, I just did that to like see the world, and I think like that was probably one of the best decisions I made, because at Montana State I was working with the athletic department, and it kind of built up a small portfolio to get a job at GC.
And that was huge, because when you sent us your portfolio, we went to your Instagram, we saw some of that stuff.
That was a crazy
And
edit.
it was fantastic. So it's like a big part of why like we even gave time to have even an interview. You know what I mean?
What I like about Dylan is, even though it was, some people would just say, oh, it's just my school's department, you were barely making any money too. Like you were making minimum wage, whatever.
So the thing was, like at Montana State, I was going to get like a scholarship to do film stuff. And then by the time the semester was up, I was like, hey, like, when am I going to get that check? And they're like, oh yeah, about that. So that sucked. So then, but I really liked it though, because it gave me that like creative freedom to kind of do what I wanted. And when I got to GCU, it was like even better. Shout out to my boss, Al. He was a real one. He literally would like assign me something and say, do whatever you want. And I was like, all right. So yeah, it was great. So like I was, really, well, yeah. So basically I was just like making videos, kind of like doing what I had always done. And then I'm, watching these Instagram reels, and I'm like, geez, like, Jack Bodie making these insane edits, all these other creatives that are just like making this wild content, super like fast paced, super like flowy, and taking things like to the next level. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I need to push myself to do that. So yeah, I literally kind of just made the decision to like try to elevate my work. And what I would do is I would like see those videos that inspired me, screen record them, go through them like frame by frame to see the techniques, to see like how they did it, analyze the audio. And like I studied like all these videos, and I made like a document of like all the different techniques they did with shooting, with editing, with sound design, with music, where I can find good music, like pretty much everything. And just kind of like took that knowledge and just tried to apply it to what I was doing at GCU. And then that's when I made like a volleyball edit, and like it's women's volleyball. It's not the most beloved college sport to watch. And, I told some of the people I was working with, I was like, hey, like, here's a shot list. I need this from you. I need this from you. And I need this from you. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And then I'm going to make the best video that GCU has seen from any sport with women's volleyball. So I kind of like made that my goal. And I think I did pretty good.
It was a sick
but
video.
that, like, for that being my first trial run, like after that, I think it only got better, where I was able to like look at all these different references and like, make videos. Like, I think one of the best videos that I made, second best video I made for GCU, was a swim and dive video. And
I don't even know if I've seen that one.
I take a lot of pride in that, because I remember somebody was talking to me, they're like, oh, you got put on swim and dive. Like, shoot, dude, that's a boring sport. And I was like, all right. I was like, all right, you want to see me make a video with this boring sport? And I was like, I'm gonna make the best video I can. So yeah, we did that, and like everyone loved it and killed it. And
That's crazy.
Yeah, so then like basically, so like my time at GCU was able to really grow.
Yeah, what I was gonna say real quick, what I was trying to say was, what's cool about you is, even though you were working this school job and you were going to film school there and all this stuff, and even though it was for your school, some people don't take it as serious. They're like, oh, it's just like my school sports. but you took it to the next level. Like, I'm going to make the best videos the college has ever seen. And I'm going to use this opportunity of these cool sports and stadiums and stuff to make content that, one, people are going to see, I'm going to get better at, I'm going to have a portfolio. The school's going to know about who made these. Like, you know, it's just like you had all these opportunities that most people just looked by. Like, oh, dive, swim and dive.
Totally.
Like, what? But still better than any of the other sports videos.
Well, and then it got you to the next level.
Yeah.
And-
Kept leveling
And I
up.
think like,
Yeah.
I think another thing too to mention, you know, I feel like one of the biggest pieces of advice that I would give to like myself in the past, I kind of mentioned this on the one video that Riley made, but you know, I was like so stuck at where I was, you know, in my editing and shooting and everything. And all it took was for me to like make the decision to be the best. You know, like basically I'm looking at all these people, you know, at GCU on the athletic side, and like, you know, they're just there to shoot the content, cut selects, upload it to the NAS, and call it a day. Like, and then they're like, oh well, whoever's job is to edit that, like, you know, good luck. I just have some highlights for them. Like, you know, even if they're editing it, it's like nobody would do anything to take it to the next level. Nobody would like shoot with the edit in mind. You know, nobody was really there for the love of it. They were kind of just there for a paycheck, and they're like, oh, I hope like
Get the shots
I hope
and
some of this like, you know, stuff on my resume like will help me get a job.
That's what I did with Marcus. I would just get the shots and then he can worry about it later.
Yeah, you do all the time.
For sure.
No, but you're right, bro. Like, there's no intention behind it, and then because they're not playing for the future ever. It's always at the moment. Like, oh, I don't feel motivated to do this, so I'm just gonna give it. Like, I have to be here, so I'm gonna do whatever I can right now, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, because like any of those people had the same exact opportunity you had. You're in the same exact spot. And then you just decided not to be like that and do the opposite of that and actually work hard. And then you get a random opportunity that you're ready for. So that's the craziest part. Like, if like, opportunity will come to everybody, but if you're not ready for the opportunity, then you're gonna miss it. And it's only because, and everybody has the same amount of time to be ready for it. It's like, if it's there and you're not ready for it, there's no physical way you can take it.
Yeah.
But you were ready for it and you ended up taking it, and then now you're here, now you're doing really cool things. And now it's whatever the future holds. But it's like, it's a very interesting concept because it happens to so many people.
And I remember when we were working at Growing Media, we were like, dude, we have a chance to do a TV show. I'm like, dude, I don't know how to do that. Yeah. And then he's like, we're just going to film it and then we're going to edit it. And I'm like, okay, sounds easy enough. And then we had a blast. We shout out to Angie with Growing Media, but we flew out in San Francisco, and Marcus is like, I'm going to get these shots. You're going to get these shots. And I think he put me over audio or something, and I was like freaking out because I'm like, dude, if I mess this up, bro, like I wasn't used to like running and gunning that much yet, and boy, did I get my fill. But then we got back and we're like, what are we gonna do with all this footage, bro? Like there's
so much footage,
and we had to make for a TV show because you're filming long segments.
We need to make an hour
long video.
Yeah,
so he goes, okay, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna edit the first half of the show. I'm gonna edit the second half or whatever. I'll edit half, you edit half, and then I'm gonna and then he's like, I'll piece it together. So you just focus on yours, and I'll focus on mine. And then that's what happened. I gave him my editing file, and he pieced it all together, and it came out so dope.
Yeah,
let's go.
And we sat in the studio on Route 13 in Marion, Illinois.
I remember it was late at night.
Nobody knew our name. Like there was no vision of this. Like this was not even existent. We had no brands that knew us. We didn't know a single person.
We didn't even think about having a business like this.
Nothing. We just knew that we just work hard and make this awesome, and then we'll go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And we just sat there, and for, I don't know, it was like 3 days of editing for that thing.
It was a lot.
But it was like all day long. So it was like from morning till night. And then, it's pieced together. But it was like one of those challenges where you have the opportunity. You can either back down from it and be a little bit scared, like, oh, well, I'll be ready for this next year. Or you can just do it.
Totally.
And see what happens.
It's an opportunity that everybody wants to have, but they're not willing.
They kind of get scared when they get there.
They're not willing to do the things that are required for it.
Yeah.
Like literally anybody at GCU would probably want to be in this position that I'm in right now, but they didn't take the time to study other videos, to like learn and grow as an editor, as a creative. And, they're still in college cutting selects
Yeah.
and working for a paycheck.
If I do creative,
100%.
if like, yeah, you're not working with brands yet or you're not getting jobs, then you have to go film, like you have to go do stuff for free or so cheap just so you can keep leveling up. Like
Yeah.
you just have to, because what you're going to wait till someone maybe picks you up and they're going to know that you're not that good. So they're going to pay you like way lower, or you can just start learning your craft and get really good and learn way faster. And when someone's ready to pick you up on a team or you do your own thing, you're just continuing to level up without having to wait for other people to make it happen for you. Like go make it happen for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then if you knew what you wanted to do. So you're sitting there and you're like, I had a very similar experience. Like I knew what I wanted to do. I wasn't good at video yet, but I knew I wanted to make videos when I was in
old were
college.
you?
I was 20.
You're 20.
Yeah. So very, very like close timeline. And then
Your age, boy.
I looked around, like this is like over a few weeks. I was like, thinking about this. And then I looked around one day, I was like, all these kids I'm walking by, I'm sitting in class with, I literally pointed like in my head to each one of them. Like he has no idea what he wants to do. She has no idea what she wants to do. Definitely doesn't know what he wants to do. Like I was sitting there, I'm like, I know exactly what I want to do. And I am wasting my time right now doing this. I'm like writing a newspaper article or something. And I'm like, for communications class. I'm like, and I thought in my head, I'm like, in 2 years, I could be so far ahead of these guys. And I left that day. And sure enough, 2 years later, bro, I made substantially more than their parents made.
And you had a fat bill. I remember there when you found out you had to pay that bill
bro.
that you didn't know about.
They gave me, they charged me $13,000 and then I talked them down to $9,000. But I wrote a check for it. And then it was done. So it's like, but they got me for that, but then we got their business back and then we made way more than that. So it's all good. But same university. But yeah, it's just like, if you're just thinking ahead, essentially, and you're not scared to take the opportunities, and you can do whatever you want to in life. Because if you want to do the biggest things in life in your space, how can you back down from the things that seem a little bit challenging, but they're not even close to the biggest stuff? You can't back down from them, or you'll just never do anything.
For sure.
So that's a testament for why you're here, which is huge. And that's like super exciting. And the whole goal was, when we built this company, was to bring on guys that like you, who are younger, who are hungry, who want to learn the stuff and like have these opportunities. And like, that's the coolest part, bringing the guys that we didn't know on before, because we didn't know you at all. And we didn't know Cross at all. We didn't know we didn't know Cooper at all. We didn't know Perry at all when he first came on. And so like seeing everybody come in, and like we knew Riley, but Riley we never thought would even be here. Actually, I had a little thought we had thoughts for a while, but like we didn't know in the beginning. Like, bringing people on, seeing the opportunity and seeing them grow and all that kind of stuff is like the best part about building the company as a whole, I would say.
Riley also kind of forced his way in here.
He did force his way.
He's like, I already got apartment. No, he's like, I got an apartment signed up for. I'm moving down, and he's like,
all right.
He's like, are you? No,
that's a whole other podcast.
No, we were in talks with him, and then he like moved so quick. It was dope to see. But Dylan, I want you to talk about the editing programs you use, because it's a little bit different than ours. I mean, a lot of people use your program, but and then also talk about how you learn, because it wasn't probably in school. It's probably YouTube and watching these videos and how to get better, which we hear all the freaking time. I've yet to really come across someone who's like, yeah, I learned this in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we learned. We learned YouTube.
Talk about that.
First, the editing platform.
Yeah, like editing software and how you like
from the beginning, or like what I'm using now, or like
what's your go-to right now?
What's your go-to?
People will see your edits and people watch the podcast.
People want to know how you use CapCut so well.
So it's actually AI. No, it's definitely not.
It's actually overseas editors.
I've been sending it to people. That's like, why it's taking so long sometimes. Edits, dude.
Like, you didn't know that?
My guy Marquise.
Yeah, it looks like he's going like this
upstairs
and typing. It looks like he's typing and stuff, but it's really just TeamViewer going.
Yeah, so I actually have a virtual editor in like England. So he sends me like a live feed of his editing software, and I just pretend.
Where to clip this?
No. All right, so no. Legit though, I use DaVinci Resolve right now.
You mean your editor uses DaVinci Resolve?
Jeez Louise.
So, all right, DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah, so basically I was on Premiere, and I just felt like it was very like clunky. I got used to it.
Watch your mouth.
It is clunky.
It was clunky, and like I felt like nothing was very like intuitive. The way that I like describe Premiere Pro is I feel like my footage is there, And then anything from, like the optical flow to the color grading to like any of the effects and stuff, I feel like it's a layer on top of the footage, opposed to DaVinci, where I feel like the color grading, the stabilization, like everything works within the footage.
Gotcha. How's your rotoscoping? No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Bro, my rotoscoping?
I know, it's actually really good. It's good.
One line with Magic Mask,
I know.
keyframe it, boom.
No, I agree with you on that, actually, 100%. I mean, After Effects is really the only reason why I stay in Premiere.
Yeah. I use After Effects still. Like, After Effects for projects that only need After Effects, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Fusion is a whole nother monster to learn, but I do use it for like certain things that are like smaller.
Use it on the NASCAR edit, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of the stuff I do in Fusion is, the motion tracking, the masking, and, just some like the other random stuff in there.
Yeah.
There's probably only like 10% of what you guys have unlocked, what you can do in those programs.
Oh, it's not even close. Like people are like, "You're a pro in After Effects." I'm like, I'm not even close. I'm like maybe 5%.
Well, there's like an infinite number of things that you can do.
Yeah,
like you're really good at 3D.
Like who come up with all these programs
and
and what they can do?
Yeah.
But like who's going to use them
After
all?
Effects at the end of the day is like a 2D animation software.
It's 2D, it's 3D. It's like everything.
Well, yeah, it's 3D,
wild.
but you can like make whole it's like the 2D version of Blender.
Yeah, but you can also bring in 3D animation, like 3D models into After Effects now.
I stand corrected.
It's nuts. Well, you don't.
Yeah.
It's not like the main thing, but it's like you can do it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's just insane.
that's the only thing that I'll use After Effects for.
Yeah.
Is like doing that 3D work. Like the sliding mitt video that I did for Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
That was like all 3D. It was just a bunch of 2D images like stacked.
Yeah.
Within like, a 3D plane, and then you just move a camera around it.
And that post showed like the whole background and how it looks. It's really just an illusion essentially how it looks.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of nuts. But so yeah, you're in what do you call it?
DaVinci.
DaVinci. Yeah. Sorry,
So
I
I'm in
forgot about that.
He shoots on Sony, which is good.
Yep. Now I'm on Sony. But yeah, no, DaVinci, so when I was on Premiere, I like learned a lot of like my workflow and everything from Sam Coulter's masterclass.
Yep.
Because when I graduated my senior year of high school, I got like all my graduation money and I blew all of it. I didn't blow it. I invested all of it into Sam Coulter's masterclass, where I learned. I went from Final Cut to Premiere because I told myself, if I'm going to be like a legit editor, I'm going to use Premiere, even though like Final Cut actually is pretty.
Yeah, I started Final Cut.
Good.
Yeah, it's a great program. It runs so smoothly on the Mac.
But then you bought his course and learned DaVinci.
So I bought his course for Premiere Pro. This was before he had the DaVinci course.
Oh.
So I like learned everything. Like I watched every single second of the videos, like probably 2 times over. But I mean, like I had like the editing knowledge from Final Cut, and it took me probably 2.5, 3 weeks of like pretty consistent learning in Premiere. And then like I eventually got it and I kind of figured it out. But there was like a couple of things like I was talking about. It's clunky, the color grading and everything is like a layer on top. So when he came out, with the news about DaVinci and how he was switching over to it, like I had already kind of been thinking about it because I've heard all the things that are amazing. Everything from the node color grading to just like how it works with the footage and all of that stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to switch over. So yeah, just watched all of the new courses that he had, which was great. I had the lifetime membership, so he added that, and I just got it for, whatever I paid for a couple years before. So
sick.
Yeah, so that was clutch. And then so I just like learned DaVinci that way, and I'm still learning DaVinci like a little every day. Like I feel like I have it like where I need it right now, but like there's so many more things I need to learn. But I think like overall, like I love DaVinci. I think there is a bit of a learning curve, but if you're like willing to like put the time in, then you can definitely like reap the benefits that it has. Like everything from color grading using nodes, to all of like the plugins that they have. Everything from like the motion blur, like you can add motion blur in post and it looks amazing. So it's like, one of my buddies back in Phoenix was like, really an ND filter, like he's like the softwares nowadays are so good that you don't need to have motion blur in camera because you can just add it in post.
Yeah, the biggest thing in Premiere is like I have to send it over to After Effects to really get that good motion blur.
Yeah.
And it's incredible once you do it that way. But it's like, again, you're linking another program to it. And
So you're saying shoot with an ND, have all your settings and focus and everything, but then add motion blur later.
Well, his friend was saying that you could just do motion blur in camera.
Yeah, so
with
it's
the
like
ND.
if you don't have an ND filter, just bump your shutter speed up and then just add it in post.
Yeah.
Which is what I had Cooper do when we were in Long Beach.
Which looks fine. It's just like it still looks different because the NDs just look so good with like everything, like the shadows, like all the highlights, all that stuff.
Everybody has their own little taste.
No, yeah, you're right, 100%. But no, I mean, like the motion blur you can add onto DaVinci is way better than anything you can do in Premiere. Like it's not even close. Like, and I'm a Premiere guy because like it's what I like because I learned it. I don't know if I have like at this point in my career, I don't think I have like
you don't have
enough
ROI
ROI to go to another program and like learn it again. So did it
as busy as we are.
Yeah,
like,
it's just
we don't have that time to afford.
What if you're a challenge, like a dual?
I would learn it in 3 days. Not as well as he knows it, obviously, but I would learn and be able to
I can
edit.
teach you everything I know.
Oh,
We
I
should
like
take
that.
like a trip, lock ourselves in a cabin in the mountains, and
should do that.
Straight up, just learn.
Or we totally should have a Brotherdale retreat.
We will. We did
Like,
before. We'll do it again.
where it's like
Yeah.
health and wellness, like we're like hiking or walking, but like almost all day we're just like leveling up our skills. So it's like not working on client work,
It's
but
like
it's
investing
like
into ourselves.
yeah, it's like
people.
like for example, me and Tyler or Michael like working on more of the business stuff or like dialing in that stuff and systems and flows.
Just
And
going
then
out
you
and
guys are
shooting
like
for fun.
watching Sam Calder teach you how to do DaVinci for like 12 hours.
We went out and shot for
Chilling.
Stevenson Ranch. These hats actually the other day when we were in Tampa.
Yeah, downtown Tampa.
And we had like a little photo shoot and just for fun. Like it wasn't like we didn't have to shoot it. We just
It's
decided
fun to do that stuff.
We had so much
we had a
fun, bro. It was so much fun. We shot for probably 2 hours,
Yeah.
hour and a half maybe, and it was a blast. Like those kind of things like we used to do back in the day. We just go out and have like a photo shoot in downtown, wherever, whatever we were doing. But that's the fun part because it like brings you back to like why you're doing the creative side.
Yeah.
And it's just a blast. We should definitely do that. We can go snowboarding and then shoot out there this
Dude,
winter.
you got to come to Montana, my home mountain.
You think it's good enough to go there? You should go to like Park City or somewhere.
Good enough for what?
Well, how's the mountain out there? Is it good?
Bro, what?
I don't know.
Do you know what Montana is in Spanish?
No, what is it? Mountain?
Mountain.
That's what I figured.
Mountains.
Mountains?
Yeah. It's literally the best skiing. We have the biggest ski resort in America.
Really? What's it
Yeah.
called?
Jackson
Sky.
Hole.
Big Sky
Oh.
Ski
Oh, Big Sky's there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I didn't
Jackson
know
Hole,
that.
Dude, it's
Wyoming.
literally
Sorry.
45 minutes away from my house.
Bro,
Dude.
why have you not taken us there yet?
What the heck? Yeah,
I've
what
been
are you
telling
doing?
you. I've been telling you that you guys got to come.
You came in the summer though.
Yeah, the biggest, like acreage wise, it is the biggest ski resort
So we can stay at
in
your
all
parents'?
of America.
Let's go to Big Sky.
Why don't we stay at your parents and then drive up there?
They got a new house. We can totally crush there.
That'd be sick. Not to invite myself, but I'm just saying we could rent somewhere. But
Tell the FedEx we're coming.
we need to rent on
Brotherdales are coming.
We need
Hey,
to rent ski and ski out.
Dad, I know you're watching this right now. Get the house ready because we're gonna be coming.
Sorry to invite ourselves. We'll rent somewhere. I was kidding, but it would be cool to stay there.
It'd be cool to swing by and have some dinner.
I haven't met your parents. Did you get to meet them out in Cali?
No, I met Avery's parents, which they were.
Oh yeah,
briefly.
they went out there.
Yeah.
We haven't got to meet your family yet.
I know.
Yeah. Well, we haven't. Well, we guess we met. Yeah, we met Perry's family.
I still don't think I've met Cross's wife either.
Really?
I think I've been gone every event she's like came over to.
Do you know one fun fact? And then we'll continue on. My dad has never met your parents.
Wait, what?
Dead serious. Our parents really haven't met.
Your mom's met my parents.
Yeah.
And they've met, my mom's seen your mom out.
Yes.
Quite a bit in public.
Because she met her before. They met before we ever met.
Yeah. Well, because you had.
Surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my dad has never met your dad.
You know what's, dude, this is crazy that you don't know this. So it's a kind of, and most people don't know this. So my mom's a nurse. And when he got injured, she took care of him
I heard about
back
this.
in the
Yeah,
day.
they told you.
This came up a couple days ago. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
and
it's
then
my
Bro, the
scar.
world is so strong.
moving forward, then we met. And then our business, that's freaking wild.
It is. It's a weird.
Yeah.
Weird how the world.
Your
works.
dad's going to meet.
I
my
know.
parents,
They
bro.
get along too. They would 100% get along. We gotta have
My
them out
dad
there.
does want us to come up for, we could do a Brotherdale retreat at my parents.
We should. We go to
Shoot
the farm
guns.
out there.
Yeah.
You didn't get to go last time, right? No,
No.
that was before you.
We shoot some guns. We have the fire. There's a pool,
Go
hot tub.
fishing,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a blast. You're just in the country. And you're a country boy. So
shoot guns.
Dude, I'm a mountain man.
You are.
But
a mountain
I
man.
do want to go to the mountains.
Yeah.
Like, I love the mountains. So we need to fly in and go out there.
So what has been your like favorite part with Brotherdale so far? Like, what's the best memory? Best experience?
That's tough to say. I mean, I think like nothing will beat that first experience in Vegas.
That was crazy.
Like yeah, it was just like wild. Like literally I went from like getting no cool projects. I was working on like, you know, I mean, they were cool. Like I tried to make the most out of them and everything, you know, but I went from like college athletic videos to making videos with professional athletes like Justin Gaethje and like, you know, talking to the Pointer Brothers,
freaking,
RG3.
Who's the big reality TV show? Pauly D. What are they called?
Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore. They just all showed out. They were filming the TV show there.
Yeah,
he freaking DM'd me afterwards. I was like, "What is going on here,
dude?" And that was insane. We ran into David Dobrik.
Yeah, David Dobrik.
Yeah, you dabbed him up.
That was Cross.
Oh, Cross did shoot.
I wish I did. I was close. And then I'm chatting it up with Mr. Beast's manager for 2 hours, asking him advice.
Those espresso
Shout out Matt
martinis
Dorley. He was on
fire,
the podcast. He's on our first guest on the podcast.
Let's go.
Matt, yeah.
That was actually 3 hours.
Actually, Matt texted
Literally
me earlier.
3 hours straight.
Was
You
it
guys
3?
were talking. Yes,
Bro.
it was straight up
He just bought
3
me one of
hours.
those espresso martinis, and I'm caffeinated, and I'm, you know, liquored up.
So that's one of the best.
Marcus
I think, like,
disappeared.
I mean, I think
Lost.
that whole trip as a whole, like, nothing will beat that. Like, that, you know, feeling that I got inside. And I was like, oh my gosh.
It's like dating
this
someone
is-
for the first time.
This is next level.
That's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
That's like the best like thing because like the hard work, that's like worth all of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even like for the future, like because we'll bring on more guys, they'll be underneath you, and like that's kind of how it works. And you'll see that in other people, and it's gonna be it's a great feeling to have because it just shows like all those things are worth it. You know, all the way up.
What's the worst part so far?
Yeah, what's the worst part? Sit next to Riley. Okay.
The worst part?
Oh, he heard me. He heard me. He just sat over there.
I mean, I think like not the worst part. I mean, it's definitely the hardest part was like moment was probably Miami.
Bro, yeah, tell me about
That
it.
was
That's
horrible.
mine too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. In Miami, I think like this speaks for, you know, a lot of the trips as a whole, but Miami specifically is like, you know, we were there for how many days? We were there for
5 or 6 days.
5 or 6. Yeah. 5 or 6 days.
Yeah.
And we're working like 10, 12-hour days
Yeah.
every single day. And we are
Which working in the office 10, 12-hour days, not the same as being on a shoot where you're
Walking
directing
around,
and running and
when
gunning
you're
for 10,
baking in the
12-hour
sun,
days.
Yep.
when you're baking in the sun all day long and you're like walking around like first 3 days were fine. Riley was sick.
Yep.
He got me sick. I was
Down
sick.
bad, bro. He was down
I was
bad.
sick. And then like, what was it? Like on the like 4th day, we were on like the beach of Miami and I was sick. I was sore. I was sunburnt. I was tired.
He was so tired.
And I had to shoot another, you know,
Video.
8-hour, 9-hour day
Yep.
and get creative and
How'd
get
you
into
do
a
it?
flow and like try to just like take some caffeine, Advil just to get over it. Cause I was sick, dude. I have not been that sick in probably like 2 years.
Yeah, then I got down bad
That
too.
was so bad.
We all got sick. It was just like it was boom.
Yeah,
him,
you came back and
him.
like needed
Yeah.
to go in the
The
hospital.
the only thing that sucks about this profession is my physical limitations with like the physical load that goes on our bodies,
Yeah.
which I think would happen to anybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's just how it goes. And it just like sometimes you'll go on a dope trip. Like Miami would have been amazing if you weren't sick.
Yeah.
And obviously the hours are the hours, but sometimes you just go on a trip and you get sick. And this is what it is. And it like just sucks, but then you just gotta do it.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We just kind of pulled together and then
Yeah.
Just
I mean, we always
stuck it through.
had positive attitudes about it.
yeah, we were trying to. I mean, it was like it was just we'd wake up early,
Yeah.
go to bed not the latest, but not terribly early, and then just be tired and have to get through it.
Well,
and
I think going off of that too, you know, just like having like a positive attitude about that kind of stuff. Like I mentioned this to you, but you know, something that I definitely like admire about the way that you work and like being with you like on set and everything is like how you're able to be like so positive and like so stress free that like it radiates to everybody else. Cause like when we're hot, we're tired and we're like, uh-oh, like my camera battery is dead, or like, you know, like, oh, like the wave like kind of splashed the FX6 or you know, whatever, like whatever it
Kinda
is,
splashed.
like, or whatever it is, or like when the stress is high, when most people would be like freaking out, like you keep your cool and like you stay relaxed. And then I'm like, wait, like I don't have to, stress about it then.
Yeah.
Which is actually like the best thing.
It's like having your dad there
appreciate
with
that,
you
bro.
on set because he's
Yeah.
old.
'Cause he's old. No, it's just like you just
sure.
gotta operate under pressure because like the greats have to do that. There's not, if you're mediocre, then you don't. And that's like a difference between a client feeling freaked out because the client only knows what you portray, how you feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why you're on a set and like you're talking about the shots.
Yep. I
Like
appreciate it though.
Of course, dude.
Heck
you
yeah.
got to be careful
go.
what you
Sorry.
say around the client too, because it's your client.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like instead of being like, dude, this stuff sucks, like, or this shot sucks, like we need to like whatever, and be like, no, like, hey, I think this would be better instead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or like when you ask someone else on the team, like, hey, did you get the shot? They're like, yeah, like I think I got it. It's like, no, that is not what you need to say around the client. Like, so it's stuff like that too that goes a long way when you're with the client, but also the team too. Is
And
like,
then things go wrong, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's always solution based whenever
Totally.
you're filming and whenever you're doing anything. It's like, yeah, FX6 got splashed, it goes down. What do we do now? Like
it
we
went
don't-
down.
We turn it back on
during that.
and it turns back on. Because, there's been two times now, two distinct moments, kind of going along with what I just said. It was like literally, what was it, last night? When I had the corrupt file with the PPA video, and I was like, dude, I don't know how I'm gonna get this project back. Like I've tried, and like, my DaVinci, like unchecked auto saves, like this is the only project file I have and it will not open. You were like, you'll fix it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna work. And I was like, are you sure? But like, that hope,
Yeah.
like, puts you in a better mood, makes you less stressed out. And then like, I think it was like the same thing like with the FX6 or whatever.
Yeah.
You were like, you like literally saw it, you laughed. That was
did
the
laugh.
first reaction, which I was like, this guy's insane. And then you're like, hey, don't worry, man. Like it's gonna work. And then like turned it off, turned it back on, worked.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
those are things that happen, and like you kind of just roll with the punches.
You just roll with it because if it turns off and doesn't turn back on, then we just move on to another camera. Just tool.
Yeah,
You know?
it's just a tool. No,
Figure- figure it
And
out.
being on set, it's not going to change anything.
No, there's no other solution besides just keep going. And then
Yeah.
if you're stressed out about it, and those things like there's things that matter and there's things that really just don't matter, but they matter fakely in your brain. Like it's like fake stress, but it can consume you in the moment. And like 90% of everything doesn't really matter at all. Like it does,
Yeah.
it just doesn't. You think it does, but it doesn't. So if you just ignore it and you just focus on the things that actually
You
have
just
to get done,
ignore all your problems.
then you're good. Don't do that.
Ignore all of them.
But some of them you can't ignore because they're not real. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like if I would have freaked out, I'm like, yo, Dylan, you messed the camera up. That would have ruined your
How
day.
could you
that would have
do
ruined
that?
all of our evenings.
Yeah.
Probably ruined the rest of the trip.
Ruin the vibe, and you could have left Brotherdale.
and
This was a lot of play.
True. And the funniest part is you could just pick up your other camera and start filming again.
Yeah.
But then you would have been in a different state of mind.
Totally.
So it didn't make any sense to freak
Yeah.
out over that. And also it's kind of funny. It's like we had a camera that's really expensive in the water. It gets splashed on. It's like, okay, well, what do we expect? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, for sure.
So yeah, just kind of how it goes. But I appreciate that, bro. I really
Yeah,
do. Because
of course.
that's we haven't been doing this that long. Like
Yeah.
obviously the creative part, yeah, but like the leading the team and like having people that we work for us and like, or work for the company essentially. But like, it's a new thing, but I know you are, and I'm constantly trying to like get better at the leadership part and the operations and like being able to delegate and all that kind of stuff. So it's cool to see that actually working in real life, which is awesome. It's like the best feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
And we want to build a huge company, and that's like the things you have to get good at if you want to go to that next level. You just have to. So I love it. All right, is there anything else we need to
How long have we been going?
ask Dylan? Probably for a second.
50? Dang, it's been going by fast.
That's not
like
bad,
in a
yeah.
good way. We've just been talking.
We can keep talking.
Shoot, I know. So you're right now you live in Albion. You live with us in our building essentially. So we're all neighbors.
I do, yeah.
Next steps. You're obviously staying now. So
Yeah.
you had a short-term lease at Albion. You're gonna make a move somewhere in Nashville. Potential roommate situation.
Yeah.
Riley bought.
Yeah, so I
Ryle.
mean, like, yeah, basically, my lease will be up. I'm trying to figure out what to do, and like I was doing a lot of thinking about it. I went and toured some other apartments. I went to Memoir. I went to Finery, Standard Assembly. Went, took a tour, got some quotes and stuff. I'm looking at the prices, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like I did a lot of thinking. I'm 21 years old, and me spending that much money a month is honestly just like idiotic.
It's crazy, right? It's
Like,
crazy.
I'm like, I should be, I would probably want to live under a bridge if it's going to be that much. So I'm like trying to figure out, like, I'm young, I can handle whatever. Like I can have a roommate. I think that's what we'll do is like, I think I'm going to room with Riley, like cut his rent in half, which will like save both of us financially. And just like, we make those sacrifices right now for the long-term gain.
Yep.
So like the plan would just be to like invest that money into a high yield savings to, be able to buy a house in the next couple years.
Nice.
And I think like that's kind of the move.
Yeah, it's perfect.
But
You're gonna get some Rizzleton.
You're gonna learn how to Riz. You'll be living with the Rizzerton himself.
dude, I need to learn how to Riz. He's gonna teach me how to do that. What is it?
Riley, you should start.
Rizzleton 3000.
Yo, we need to start an
3000.
Instagram and TikTok about Riley teaching Riz, and then have a course.
dude.
Everyone's gonna
People
start
buy
off
to
like
learn
this.
how to Riz.
Well,
Riley Riz is really hard.
we
Like,
were chit chatting. That's how every single story starts. Listen, we were chit chatting.
So
Had a few Modelo's, Michelob. Sorry. Yeah. What are you gonna do to me? Oh, the Riley move.
the Riley move.
This is the classic
He'll be like,
Riley.
yo, what? He'll be like talking to a girl, like, you see that over there? And then he'll like grab her and pull her in.
I've been violated.
Cut it. Actually, he got you that one time though.
He did
Bro,
get
he's
you
got
that
me
one
like a
time.
couple times, but most of the time I kind of figured it out now.
Yeah,
But
That-
it is funny.
no, that's dope
that's
though.
funny.
So
Yeah.
so just two boys being boys.
Yeah.
moving into an apartment, saving some money. Honestly, dude, like we always this.
You guys
all the
should
time.
car share too.
Yeah.
You can save some real
You could also share
cash.
like when like water instead of the water bill. You guys just use the bathroom together. You guys
shower
That's not gonna
together.
happen.
shower
Ain't
together.
No way.
Honestly, use meal prep together. I mean, you
Instead
guys
of,
could
like,
really dial in
For
that money.
cereal, you just eat first and then save the milk for him.
Yeah, no, not gonna happen.
We just walk in and they're like holding hands walking in the door. All right, back on track.
Back on track here.
Okay, I think like something that we haven't even talked about that I feel like is pretty prominent.
Yeah.
is like how I actually got started. Because like
Yeah,
I feel like
let's hear about it.
I feel like I have a very unique story compared to like a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Like-
So how did Dillbot get started? When you were first assembled in the factory, how did you?
When I was first assembled in the factory. No, so I mean, yeah, basically like in the scopes of like all of video, kind of getting into it, I like picked up a camera when I was like super young. My parents had like a flip. It was like a little. It's called a flip.
Yeah,
It was like a little.
It was
video
shaped
recorder.
like this, kind of, right? And like the
I
little
mean,
thing would flip
yeah,
out.
it was like something like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a weird, whatever. But like I picked that up and like just made some random stuff for fun. I had a YouTube Studio edit. Had that editing software and stuff. I did a little bit of that. That was just like when I was young and doing hobby stuff. But I think like where sort of everything kind of came together was when I was in like 5th grade. So I go snowboarding like every single weekend. I guess I did like when I was back home in Montana, and I was in like the ski lodge and I saw this poster, and it said point and shoot video competition. First place winner gets $500. Second place winner gets $300. Third place gets $200. And me being, how old would I have been? I would have been 11 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
I was like $500. Like that is a lot of money.
That's a
And-
lot of cheddar.
Oh yeah. So I was like, great. Like I want to try this. So like that Christmas, I had asked for a GoPro because I was like the cool thing, and I got the latest and newest and best GoPro you could get, the GoPro Hero 2.
Oh,
crazy, actually.
Yes, dude.
It wasn't
So-
even waterproof. Fun fact.
It had a waterproof housing.
Yeah.
So it made it waterproof. So I was able to take it in the snow. But like, I just kind of, picked up a YouTube video, went out to the ski hill with it with, all my friends. Like literally all of the footage was like GoPro mounted to the head kind of thing. And it looked horrible. But like that year I was like, okay, great. I have 5 months to make a video to try to win $500. And like, that was like my motivation. So I like, cut up a bunch of these clips and like made a season edit, and like I didn't even like qualify to like get my film shown which like then gave me more motivation. And like then that next year for Christmas, I asked for a drone, and I got the Phantom 4 with like
Wow.
no gimbal or anything. And then so that year like tried to level it up a little bit and used only a GoPro Hero 2, and like I think I used like a camcorder that my mom let me use. And then I took 3rd place that year.
And you were 12?
When I was 12 years old, yeah. And I was competing with like college kids and like other like we were the youngest by far. And so that was sick. So like I saved up some more money and I went to Costco and bought myself a Nikon D3300.
Let's
and
go.
I was
So
like,
you were a
yes.
Nikon guy first.
At the very
look like
beginning,
a
because it was
Nikon
like
guy.
the only camera that would shoot 60 frames per second at that like price level.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I remember looking at the Canon 80D back in the day, and people were
what I
like,
had.
"This is the best camera ever." And I was 20, I think, or 18. I don't even know. No, I was younger than that. I was like 18 maybe. And I was like, "Oh, I want to get this camera." But now it's like terrible, which is crazy. But yeah, that's what you had in the beginning, right? It was your first camera?
I had the Canon T5i, and then the ADD, and then I went to Sony.
Dang.
But you saved up, you got the Nikon, and then what? You placed first next year?
No.
He
No, I
never
was
got
like, finally I
first.
can get those blurry backgrounds. I was hyped. I was like, my production quality is going to be elevated like crazy. So, yeah, basically like use that camera. And then I took 3rd place again. So it was kind of like a year after year thing. So like the next year, I think I took 3rd. I took 3rd like 3 years in a row. And I was like,
Got in a
I was like,
slump.
this sucks. But like all at the same time, I was doing that, like that was kind of like where my roots were. And that was like what I enjoyed doing. But my mom's friend, who was a realtor, was like, hey, like you can edit and shoot videos. Like I'd love for you to, edit me some stuff like houses. And like, I'm going to do some, like talking for the camera and stuff. Like I'll pay you for it. And I was like,
So
ooh,
pay
wait.
what?
I was like, oh, you're going to pay me for this one project more than I would make this whole entire season edit that I would do? I was like, okay. So yeah, basically like, started off with that and then like, tried to just like elevate my skills, and I kind of like developed the, identity of being like the film guy, like starting in like middle school and then going into high school. I joined like Hawk TV, which was like the, media.
Hawk
class.
TV or Hawk TV? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You call it after you want to.
TV.
It was called Hawk TV because our mascot was the Hawks. And then I like, just started making a bunch of videos for clubs and classes. And like that kind of led to like one thing after another. I made a football edit for my high school, and then like, the school took notice, and like I started doing a lot of stuff with like the school district and like random local businesses here and there. Those jobs landed me a job with MSU's athletics, which landed me a job with GCU athletics, which landed me a job with, well, even before that, I guess going into my freshman year of college, or during my freshman year of college, I was looking for like a legit job, and basically, I got an email from this company that shall not be named.
Shall not be
Can't name
named.
them.
No names.
Can't even talk about it.
So they were like, hey, like make us a bunch of TikToks because like we like the stuff that you're making. And
By the way, which is dope, first of all. Even though like you did, that didn't work out the best way.
Yeah.
That's still sick though. Like being able to be in college, having to make TikToks, that's dope.
yeah,
That's a big stepping stone.
no, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like, so yeah, like at that time I was just making TikToks for fun. And like everything was kind of centered around like Montana, mountains, cinematic, stuff like that. And so I'd been posting stuff like for my personal page. And then this company reached out to me, and they're like, hey, we're working with the Montana Tourism Board. We don't want to spend the money to like send a person out there to shoot stuff. We like the stuff that you make, and we'd love for you to, make content for us. That'll then go to like the Montana Tourism Board. And I was like, all right, that sounds like a deal. Like, I like that idea. And, they kind of shot me like a low offer. It was all like per video. And it was like pretty low, but I was kind of like, desperate and like looking for work. I didn't really know my worth at the time. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to figure out a way to like, make this I was gonna figure out a way to like mass produce these videos. So I was like gonna make 7 videos in one day. Basically, long story short, was like they didn't like my videos, and then they were asking me to make changes all the time, and it was just like a massive headache. And then so then basically like they were like, hey, like we're only gonna pay you for 5 out of the 20 videos that you made. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I spent all this time making 20 videos. You're only going to pay me for 5 of them. And they're like, yeah, well, we're not going to use the other ones because we don't like them. And I was like, well, this is a waste of time. And then basically like the next week, they were like, hey, like due to creative reasons, we're going to move on with like other creators. And I was like, they're like, sign this document.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, you're telling me this.
It said, they said sign this document and your like contract will be like terminated and stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I remember reading the contract that like if they were gonna like lay me off, they had to give me like a 30-day notice. So then like I went over and looked at the contract and I read that over, and they were like, we'll pay you for every deliverable. We will give you a 30-day notice. Like, all these other things. Those are the 2 main things. And I was like, wait a minute, you guys are breaking contract. Like it says right here in the contract that you pay me for the deliverables, not for the videos that you accept. So I went to the school's attorney, and because like we got those for free at Montana State, which was super clutch.
That is clutch.
And then I had the person, I told the person, the situation. They looked over the contract, and we're like, yeah, like these guys are breaking contract. Like I would send them like a demand letter and stuff. I got in touch with their legal team. The legal team like totally just contradicted what the contract said. They're like, yeah, we don't owe you anything. Like read the contract. Like we don't have to pay you. And I was like, well, read the contract. You actually do. And then, ended up getting to the CEO, had a phone call with the CEO of the company, and he was not happy. And he was like, we're not going to pay you. Like you owe us this. Like it was the most horrible experience I've ever had. Like with working with people, he was like cussing at me. He was like threatening to sue me and all this stuff. And basically I was like, hey dude, like it says in the contract here, I was like, you're going to pay me or else I'm going to make a small claim with the court and stuff or whatever. And he's like, yeah, well, like, you can't do that. You have no evidence. And then long story short, this is a long story.
I've heard it like 5 times. It's awesome.
So I'm going to make short. But basically he was like, fine, we'll pay you. But if you say anything bad about our company ever, we will sue you for as much money as we possibly can.
Get ready for that letter, buddy. You just said it.
I didn't say the name.
He didn't say the name.
No one knows the company.
But it rhymes with, no. Okay.
So that was a horrible experience. And then, so that was like a big growth point.
That's like the first like in your face, like, oh, this is real life. Like, dang.
I have to watch when people are trying to screw me over because it happens.
For sure. I mean, dude, we've had some crazy stories, but I'm not even go into them. But like, there's like, you just don't think about those things whenever you're getting into it because you just want to make videos in the beginning.
You assume everyone's like, has like your best interest in mind. They don't always.
No, a lot of them don't, which is it's kind of crazy. But dang, so from there, then you went to GCU.
Not quite.
After that,
not quite.
So
after that, I was looking for a legit job, and then I met this one guy who was like a part owner of a production company in Bozeman. And I was like, hey, here's my portfolio. Like, I'm looking for some more work. If you have something to, put me on, I'd love to take it. And he was like, yeah, I don't really know. Like, it'll probably be like 2 months before we have anything. I was like, okay, that's fine. Then he actually called me the next day. He was like, hey, dude, there's this guy in Nashville who's working on a music video.
Yeah.
And he needs help doing some like rotoscoping stuff. Like, can you help him out? And I was like, of course I can. I did not know how to rotoscope yet. But I told him I could. And basically kind of what happened was, I like figured it out. I spent a couple hours like trying to mass produce like this thing. Basically there was like a bunch of X's on this back wall and they needed them gone. And there was stuff in the foreground. And basically we used content aware fill and all this stuff to like get rid of the X's. And yeah, so after that single job with the guy, his name is Drew, Drew Crosby. Shout out to you, Drew. He's like, yeah, one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. Like, he definitely helped me elevate.
And he's in Bozeman,
No, so he lived in Bozeman.
but he's in Nashville
He's
now.
in Nashville now.
Yeah, which is crazy. So you were working with a guy in Nashville.
Yeah.
And then full circle, now you're here.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's insane.
What a small world, dude. All from
real.
Montana.
I know. What? It's wild.
God did.
God
No.
did.
100%. 100%.
Praise the
So
Lord,
as we-
Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
So one thing we ask towards the end of every podcast is, how do you simply win?
And add on to this. What? Because you're a unique guest because you are younger and you're doing.
17.
He's 16 years old. You're younger, but and you
21.
still have the cool part is you still have classmates and people that know you that are in the film program or that are in doing this stuff in college right now, and a lot of kids that are your age are in college.
Yeah.
How do you simply win every day, and what do you have to say? Like, what is some advice that you can say to people that are your age in college, or a little bit younger in college, about like just life, I guess, or about the real life experience, or what would you like to say to them? Like, what's some good advice that would stick with them that's relevant to them now?
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like a lot of the things that I see with people who are in college, like trying to create a portfolio and try to create connections in a career, like they expect that everything's going to come to them for the most part. Like they are go-getters and stuff, but they don't like, they expect things to just come to them. But like in reality, like they need to go after those things. Like whether that's, networking with people, trying to set up like meetings with people to like pick their brain about stuff, or whether that's, learning new editing tricks and like studying what other people are doing that inspire you. Like you just need to go and do it. And I think a lot of times people will like say, oh, like it'll just come to me. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing now, and then I'm just going to get better over time. But I think the biggest thing that I kind of figured out was that's not the case. You need to go after what you want. It's not just going to come to you automatically. You have to make the decision to be great. You have to make the decision now. How do I word this? You need to make the decision now that
Brain fart. I
You need to
love
make a
this. I love
decision
this.
now that you're going to do it and make it happen.
yeah, no, basically like, yeah, what I'm trying to get at
Is you need to do it now.
is like wherever you
Right freaking out.
Like, right.
wherever you want to be, it's not going to come naturally. You need to be that person that you want to be in that moment.
Yeah,
Now.
you got
It's
to
not just gonna
operate
come.
100%, dude. I mean, that's
Yeah.
so important. Like, you get to operate like you are already that person, and then you become that person over time. It's so, bro. The amount of meetings that we had when we first started, like virtual meetings on Google Meet, when we first started doing, we never met with any clients ever like that. Like when you're like trying to pitch somebody, they're asking you questions. You have to have actual, educational question, like answers back, like real answers. And bro, I don't know about you, I would get so freaking nervous before these calls, bro. And even like the first like 5-10 minutes of the call, bro, I'd be like I would be sweating. You couldn't tell on video, but I would be sweating in real life. And like, we were just nervous, dude. And like, but it was just like, you had to operate like you were already there and go through that tough part. And then eventually you get really good at it. And now we don't even notice a meeting. Like, it's like, oh, we're another meeting.
Even if you're bottom G, you got to act like a top G.
Exactly.
You need to be top G.
Bottom G. Now I'm top G. Now I'm like middle G, like somewhere down here. We'll get up there. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like, that's important. And that's a very relevant thing for people that are trying to get, to the next level.
Yeah.
If they're, in college or wherever they're at. How do you simply win during the day or during every day?
During the day? Every day?
Yeah. That's the name of the podcast.
Simply winning.
Simply winning
On the daily.
podcast. On the daily. on the yearly.
I think don't ever get stagnant. Like it's easy to get comfortable in where you're at, but I think like the way that I try to simply win is like I'm only as good as my last project, and if I'm not continually growing, and if I'm not continually like discontent with where I'm at compared to like where I want to be, then like I'm not going to go anywhere and I'm not going to do anything. Like a lot of the videos I look at, like I'm like, oh, like I wish I could make a video like that, but I'm trying to be further than where I am now. And I try to like study and I try to try new things and do new things every single day.
Yeah.
Just to elevate just an inch. So then by the time, 2 years from now, I'll be like so much further ahead.
That's incredible. Do you ever find yourself, and this is a question for you too, if you're, say like a few weeks go by and you're not, leveling up, you're kind of like in a rut a little bit, and you're kind of either ignoring things you need to do or like you might just be in a rut. The it's comfortable, or maybe you on the weekend you went out and you had a bunch of fun, you just didn't get to the work part, and like you're comfortable, so that part's nice. But almost the pain or I don't know if it's anxiety or whatever it is of not doing the hard thing, not like going to the next level on something, is actually worse than the pain of going to the next level. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Bro, that's like, it's almost like a fail safe.
Dude, 100%.
It's like, I almost can't not go to the next level because I actually hate myself more being comfortable. It like drives me up a wall. Like it's hard.
If you don't feel guilty for sitting on your ass, like being a couch potato watching TV,
Probably not cut out for this.
then like, you're not doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel
That or
guilty.
some people just are not cut out for this.
No, it's a weird concept to like think about, but it's like, I feel like people that are driven all the time, that's like the thing that probably drives them the most is like, you're actually more unhappy not going and trying to accelerate yourself. Because if you just stay there, like it's not fun. It actually is like the opposite of fun. It's actually it's worse than the struggle of trying to be great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's something that I thought that would probably resonate.
Yeah, it's actually mentally worse for me to like not work out than it is to like go through the physical pain of working out.
Yeah.
Because of what it does to your mental, like, wow.
And like you only get to that point like through doing it after a while. Because there's people that like have never gone to that point and they're just stuck.
Yep.
Stuck in a rut in the mud. Can't get out.
In the mud in the middle of Montana.
Country song.
Middle of Montana. Man, I could be a country artist. All right. Well, what's next for the boy? What's next for you?
What's next?
Yeah. As in like tomorrow.
Okay. Like future going forward?
Tomorrow.
Like
tomorrow. Well, tomorrow we are going somewhere.
Yeah, we are.
Can't say what we're filming yet.
No, we can say we're filming, but we are going to Alabama,
Alabama.
as they would say.
Oh yeah.
Yep. But yeah, this year we got a bunch of stuff coming up. We're traveling all over the place. Just got back from California. Shoot.
Working on a dope edit. I'm super stoked about it.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, it's looking clean.
Dope edit for PPA. Gonna be exciting. I know Rain's gonna love it. I'm not gonna use the language I used earlier, but they're gonna absolutely love it. And yeah, we're just gonna keep building it. Jeez, I was gonna cut out of that one. Yeah, we're just gonna keep killing it, and you're gonna keep killing it. I will say on the podcast, and I know Hunter probably agrees, and you can say whatever you want, but you are one of the hardest working 21-year-olds I've ever met. 100%.
Really?
Yeah, like hands down, you really are. And I'll tell that to anybody who earns that. I'll tell them, and I tell this to Riley all the time. He works extremely hard, but yeah, just like where you're at in life, you work extremely hard, and we appreciate that for sure.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it.
Would you agree?
I would say Dillbot's got the skill bot.
And I'm getting a call from my wife.
I agree. It's crazy. Yeah. For sure. He can literally like come to the studio, sit down and just dial in. Like doesn't care what anybody else has going on.
Yep.
Which also is like it's different because like he's focused on his thing and no one really needs him for something else. Where like now more than ever when you grow a business, you just get pulled in so many different directions because somebody needs this, somebody needs that. We're like missed it. You literally would just sit in your room and edit. You don't have to worry about anything else than just edit.
Back in the day. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like nice, but it's still hard for people to sit down and focus and just dial in and do the work. And Dylan will do it. He'll literally get up, maybe take a snack, go somewhere real quick, come back and just dial right back in.
Put his headphones on and then he's in the zone.
Yeah.
I'll actually frequently like just call his name from the top floor. Dylan. But he can't hear me. He's always zoned in. So yeah. I'll do the same thing to Riley, but he can't hear me anyway. So
all right. Well, that's season 2, episode 16 with Dylan Fedyk.
It's a good podcast.
Yeah.
Next time we'll do a podcast with him. We'll be in the mountains of Montana on the ski resort.
Big Sky.
In my parents' living room.
Yes.
You actually should. That'd be a blast.
We'll do one with your parents.
Yeah.
We should have all three of you guys sit down. They can just roast you for a little while.
Yo, you know what we need to do? We definitely need to have our like dad or moms on here to like talk about their point of view of our journey.
Bro, they would roast me so bad. We should do it though. That'd be so much fun.
used to be so skinny.
You know, she'd be like,
barely hold the camera.
he would never take the trash out. I still don't, Mom. I still don't take the trash out. All right.
We hired someone for that.
Toilet.
Oh shoot. Yeah, I don't enjoy that. But you know, we should definitely do that. It'd be hilarious.
Awesome. We need to do that.
We should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it. All right, boys.
All right.
Thanks for watching. Peace.
Peace.